Commitment to law and the concept of meritocracy. Over the last 30 years, consolidation of the elite started with Harvard.
Are you talking about a vehicle? You can't be operating electronic devices.
I have no doubt in my mind. A member of the gang, like this gentleman right here, approached me.
Well, you just said that for
I looked at him, I said, I can't help but notice there's no police here. What are you going to do? He walked up, he said, F off, right to my face. Somebody came up from behind with a bike lock and hit me over the head. Didn't see it coming. I immediately got my eyes on the guy and I pointed at him. He got arrested, whatever. Missed my spine by an inch. Could have killed me right there on the spot. It was terrorism. It was because I identify as a different political affiliation than they do. And because I don't participate in their groupthink, I'm the enemy, as well as all the other people who don't believe the same thing. It's terrible. This group needs to be labeled as a terrorist group. Dr. Shiva was recently assaulted, a couple weeks ago? I can tell you right now, I don't agree with everything that he believes. He doesn't believe in everything that I believe. As a libertarian, I certainly don't believe in everything that the people here in this crowd believes. But you know what? I would never use violence or force to make you believe what I believe. I would argue until I'm blue in the face, until either you change your mind or we parted ways, but at least it would be respectful. And God, you know, there's a lot going on this weekend and next weekend. There's an anniversary of the Unite the Right Charlottesville thing that resulted in that poor young woman being killed. That sounds to me like terrorism. I don't know why that's so hard to say. If that guy mowed down that crowd because of politics, it's terrorism. We shouldn't be afraid to say it, just like we shouldn't be afraid to say that when these masked thugs come out in public, they're terrorists. So this weekend there's an anniversary of that in Washington, D.C. And then next week there's an anniversary of the Boston Free Speech March that brought all those tens of thousands of people to the Boston Common. I was hit last week over the head with a bike lock. The guy almost killed me. I still say we need to unite and not divide. We need to recognize the humanity in each other as we participate in these political rallies. And we need to shake hands and part ways, even if we don't believe the same thing. So thank you very much for coming out and hearing us today. And I hope that everything that happens in the next 2 weeks stays respectful and non-violent as we participate in our right to free speech and free assembly. Thank you.
Tell that to the guy who hit me over the head.
They're
celebrating.
coming to him.
Thank you, Dr. Shiva, wherever you ended up. He's over there.
Could I get one question?
So what we're going to do, guys, is the reason we're here is because Elizabeth Warren supports racism, and we're here to call that out. A few weeks ago, she had a guy commit a hate crime. One of her supporters hit me in the face. In fact, it was this megaphone, and he was arrested, taken away, and Elizabeth Warren treated him. VIP service brought him back in, has yet to apologize. So we're going to be lining up to march up to her house right up there shortly, and the way we're going to do is we're going to have these banners. The police have been very good. They're going to give us an escort. We're going to keep it very peaceful. Anyone who wants to come, we're going to go in front of Warren's house, ask her to apologize, and that's about it. We're giving her full chance to be a dignified human being and to show that she cares for Native Americans, she cares for people of color, she cares for poor whites, and that she really understands what racism is, because in our view she does it, because she is the racist. She appropriated Native American heritage, she
She appropriates false papers, and that's, by the way, what Harvard University is all about. The institution's about that. You know, the stuff falls from the head down. Anyone else? Mike, do you want to say anything? All right, so we're going to be leaving shortly, and we're going to line up. Hey, Frank, you probably want to take that banner down. We're going to march this way. Who wants to march with us to Elizabeth Warren's house? It's only, you know, a few blocks away. By the way, if you look at the picture, if you get the flyers, this guy's wearing a shirt that says liberal, and he's punching a dark-skinned guy. By the way, before he punched me, he said, "You're not black." Okay? Very interesting. That brown people aren't allowed to call him as a racist. You see what I'm saying? This is how these guys are. They're very, very, you know, they try to split everyone up. So we're going to march this way, up, and then when we get to Harvard Law School, we're going to be on Mass Ave. We're going to march for about 4 blocks up Mass Ave. Then we're going to take a left on Linnaean Street. The people want to carry this banner. You guys will be on the left side marching, okay?
Yeah, time for a quick question.
And so that's what we're going to do. Thank you. So let's wind up. So let's take that banner down. Thank you, guys. We're going to wind up here.
So what you said about taking Q&A wasn't actually... Where was...
You ready? Looks like they're lining it up for you.
1 second. You're going to have to wait. So where you want first?
I'm in Natick.
Oh, okay. So you ready? Yeah, I figured. I've never used a drug in my life, so...
This is a plant. It's a food, the way we look at it. And it works with your body system.
All right, I think the cops just went, so...
I would be streaming on YouTube right now when I fill out that damn story. What is unbearable? That's the way it should be. I'm holding it straight.
Oh, he? Yep. Who's done the run? Not him? Sarah.
You're going to have to wait because we're here doing our thing. You can talk to me. You can send me an email and get together.
Okay, all right.
Okay, Uma. So get behind that. We're going to make a line this way, guys. Make a line this way.
I appreciate the civil discourse.
So-
You will never have my vote, but man, best of luck to you.
Thanks
You're
a lot.
doing what you think is right. So, yeah.
Agenda. We will. We're going to talk over there. You should. No. We're going to go this way first. Okay, so these people will do it. Well, Shiva? What's that? Yeah, but my dad and you're not wrong about that. Well, we would have to. Hello! How are you?
It's great as it can be.
Okay, tell me if this screen is correct.
I have no idea.
I just want to take a picture of that.
I'll plug it in. Are you getting pictures? Okay, yes.
Right, come on.
Yeah, put it on. Yeah, put the watch on. Let him come. Let you get in. But you're gonna follow us.
Ma, hey Ma. Uma, Ma. Uma. Uma, we gotta go. Let's go. Ready? So you have one of these.
Oh, I see, I see. That's why we got a politician, we got the doctor. Get him
See ya.
We're gonna go behind Frank, okay?
Hey, I don't know where I'm going, so get some.
I do my reading.
Everyone do a straight line behind Frank, okay? Stay in the right lane. Stay in the right lane. Come on.
Guys, at the way. Hold up. Crossing. You guys go. Everyone walking, go.
सर कोई औकात की बात भी होती है
Yeah, you gotta take some. Robert, you're getting everything, right? Hey, Mom, look at your phone. You got your phone?
That was excellent. Like it?
Truth, yes. Racism, no. Fake Indian warrant has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Fake Indian warrant has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Fake Indian warrant has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Fake Indian Elizabeth warrant has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Fake Indian warrant has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Fake Indian warrant has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Fake Indian warrant has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Fake Indian warrant has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no.
Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Bacon and Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Bacon and Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Bacon and Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Bacon and Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Bacon and Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Bacon and Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Bacon and Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Bacon and Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Bacon and Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Bacon and Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Bacon and Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Bacon and Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Bacon and Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Bacon and Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no.
Frank, crank it up. Listen to this music. We got
Yes. Racism, no. Bacon and Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Bacon and Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Bacon and Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Bacon and Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Sum it up. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Bacon and Warren has got to go.
Frank, hold on. We're going to go ahead of you. You come behind. I'll be in the back. All right.
Yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Bacon and Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no.
State Senate against Elizabeth Warren.
That's right. We're running against Elizabeth Warren, the fake Indian. We're exposing her hypocrisy. That's what Elizabeth Warren's about. And so is this university, Harvard Law School, and the university itself.
All right. Frank behind us. Excellent, guys.
How you doing, Louis? This one? This one's a small one, but it's good they can come in small packages.
We can get a lot done.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey, do they stop all the cars? Oh, here we go. Here are cars coming. Ready? Right up there, this way.
Truth, yes. Racism, no. Fake Indian Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Yes. Racism, no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Yes. Racism, no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Yes. Racism, no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Yes. Racism, no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Yes. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Yes. That has a beautiful bar, by the way, on the first floor. Everyone gets launched every night. 50% of the people are probably an Ayyadurai or Ritalin, and that's why they support Big Pharma. But this is your eminent Harvard Law School. If people go through here, you'll see a big picture of the fake Indian in there who got in there by lying and taking a minority's position. Not so great institution. It's a fake university. Harvard Law School is Harvard University is a $40 billion hedge fund that masquerades as a university. You don't have to be that smart to go here. You just have to know how to play the game. That's what they teach people here, to play the game. One law for us, another law for them. That's why Elizabeth Warren got away by lying to get into Harvard Law School. And if you bring that up to a liberal, they freak out because they don't want to understand what racism is. Racism is not using certain words, not changing building names. It's about the fact that they live off segregation. And we're about to go to Elizabeth Warren's home in beautiful West Cambridge, her $5 million teepee. That's where we're headed. And we're going to ask her to apologize now because she unleashed a henchman to beat me in the face and has yet to apologize. The guy's wearing a beautiful liberal t-shirt and thinks it's okay to punch someone in the face because I called him a racist. That's what kind of people are here. And everyone listening here, you should come join us if you truly are against racism, because Elizabeth Warren supports racism. And you've all been brainwashed to think that the university you go to is some institution that really takes care of everyday people. It doesn't. That's why the average net worth of a black person in Boston is $8. So that's why we take up the slogan, truth, yes, racism, no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Truth, yes, racism, no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go.
Has got to go.
Truth, yes.
Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, racism, no.
Elizabeth Warren has got to go.
Truth, yes. Racism, no.
Elizabeth
Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no.
Elizabeth Warren has
Got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no.
Elizabeth Warren has got to go.
Truth, yes. Racism, no.
Elizabeth Warren has got to go.
Truth, yes. Racism, no.
Elizabeth Warren has got to go.
Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go.
Elizabeth Warren has got to go.
Truth, yes. Racism, no.
Elizabeth Warren has got to go.
Truth, yes. Racism, no.
Elizabeth Warren has got to go.
Truth, yes. Racism, no.
Elizabeth Warren has got to go.
Truth, yes. Racism, no.
Elizabeth Warren has got to go.
Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. We're taking the left there, right?
Yeah, when we get, we'll do it for you. We'll take care of it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, officer.
Why should people vote for you, Shiva?
Well, listen, people should vote because they want to participate in the American democracy. Neither party helps people participate. I'm running for U.S. Senate because I'm, like you, everyday working person. I'm a worker, an inventor, a scientist, an educator. I work for a living, and I want to represent the values what this country is about, and it's up to you if you want to join that and be independent and be part of truly the American process. You should support our campaign because 60% of this state is independents. The other two political parties are completely rigged. They do not work for the interests of the American people.
Truth, yes. Racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes. yes, racism no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes, racism no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes, racism no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes, racism no. Go to Warren's house. Truth, yes, racism no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Yes, racism no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes, racism no. Bacon Warren has got to go. Truth, yes, racism no. Bacon Warren has got to go. Truth, yes, racism no. Bacon Warren has got to go. Truth, yes, racism no. Bacon Warren has got to go. Racism no. Truth, yes, racism no. Bacon Warren has got to go. Truth, yes, racism no. Bacon Warren has got to go. Truth, yes, racism no. Bacon Warren has got to go. Yes, racism no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Truth, yes, racism no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Truth, yes, racism no.
Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Yes, racism no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go.
Yes. Elizabeth Warren has got to go.
Elizabeth Warren has got to go.
Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Elizabeth Warren has got to go.
Yes, racism no.
Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Truth, yes, racism no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Truth, yes, racism no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Truth, yes, racism no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Truth, yes, racism no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Truth, yes, racism no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Truth, yes, racism no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Racism no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Racism no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Truth, yes, racism no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Yes, racism no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Truth, yes, racism no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Truth, yes, racism no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Truth, yes, racism no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Truth, yes, racism no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Truth, yes, racism no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Truth, yes, racism no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. 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 Racism no. Truth, yes, racism no.
Elizabeth Warren has got to go.
Truth, yes, racism no.
Elizabeth Warren has got to go.
Truth, yes. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Elizabeth Warren has got to go.
Elizabeth Warren has got to go.
Racism no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go.
Go over to that tree. First tree? No, second one. Go to the second tree. Right here. Go to the second tree. Okay. What do we do? Right here. Yeah, right there.
Truth, yes. Racism no.
Elizabeth Warren has got to go.
Truth, yes. Racism no.
Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Gotta go. Elizabeth Warren's house, right here.
The last time that we spoke, that video was taken down from Facebook.
All right, everyone, we're
without
right
warning
here in front of
notice,
Elizabeth
but
Warren.
let's listen to Dr. Shiva.
She's obviously not here, probably down in Martha's Vineyard somewhere, hanging out with her Wall Street friends. That's what these people do on summer, right? They don't really work for a living. Most of these senators actually have 6 months off. They spend most of it trying to stay in power. And, you know, in her case, she's got a nice, cozy 10-year job. But the reason we're here, and my father, who's 85 years old, is in that car, is that I came to America as a legal immigrant in 1970 as a 7-year-old kid, went through the public school systems of New Jersey, got 4 degrees at MIT, started a number of companies to help a lot of jobs in Massachusetts. But Elizabeth Warren and the people that she represents are lawyer lobbyists and career politicians.
A few days ago, we went to one of Warren's rigged town halls. They're not really town halls, they're bogus. And she had a wonderful little theater there, by the way, called the Mahawi Theater, Native American, again, taking advantage of Native American people. And a lot of the people that were lined up were were not everyday people. These were everyday white liberals who frankly live here, eat their organic foods, vacation in the Berkshires. And as they're walking in, we were on our side of the street, right, Michelle?
That's right.
Right, Richard? We were on our side of the street, and we invited these former hippies to say, hey, look, why are you going into that AC air-conditioned room? Let's have a discourse on race. Let's talk about racism. Because a lot of these white liberals who live here get so annoyed when they see our bus. You know, only the real Indian can defeat the fake Indian. Why do they get annoyed? Because we're bringing up their hypocrisy. You see, for far too long in American politics, around 10 or 20 people at Harvard University have defined racism. And that definition of racism is, don't use the N-word, right? Oh, change the name of that building over there. And boom, we've solved racism. Meanwhile, the average net worth of a black person in Boston is $8, miles from this home. And you better not talk about poor white people, because God forbid if you do that, you must be a white supremacist, right? If you talk about the fact that the infant mortality rate among white people is explosively growing, if you talk about the fact that white people in this country have 3 times the national opioid addiction, the average, man, that's white supremacy, right? So they've got it all figured out. So if a guy like me comes across look at me, right? A guy who's reasonably good looking, you know, has a bunch of degrees from MIT, can articulate, and I'm standing over on my side with my megaphone, this one, and I call out their people as racist because they've created race war in this country. They've pitted poor whites against poor blacks, and they wonder why Donald Trump won. Donald Trump won, and he needed to win because we needed a disruption in this country, because he was calling out the press, he was calling out the media, he was calling out what needed to be called out. And it was a necessary disruption. And these people now have a fake Indian, and they create a fake fighter, not a real fighter. Look, you're looking at a guy who actually made sure more poor blacks, poor whites got into MIT. If you look, there's a picture of me burning the South African flag. I have a big poster which said U.S. out of Iraq. By the way, this woman voted to bomb Syria. She wanted to bomb the shit out of Syria. She did not like Trump and Putin meeting, right? She doesn't want détente. She didn't want North and South Korea coming together. And get this, all of you guys here who eat your organic food, Elizabeth Warren voted for the Monsanto Protection Act, and she cannot take that away. Can she? That's why we say, Trump, yes, racism, no. Elizabeth Warren has got to go. Truth, yes, racism, no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Truth, yes, racism, no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Truth, yes, racism, no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Truth, yes, racism, no. Fake Indian Warren has got to go. Now, last time there was, I think, 4 of us. I think now we multiplied by a factor of 10, right? And by the way, we're the first ones on the ballot.
Yeah.
We're the first ones on the ballot. And we did it the good old American way, working hard. All of these volunteers and 100 others helped us get in. But the Boston Globe didn't report on it. The Cambridge Chronicle didn't report on it. I might not the dark-skinned darky that they want to talk about how much they helped, but they don't, because my politics don't match their politics. It's not about race. Black lives matter to them to the extent they can exploit black people. That's what it means. And that's what we're going to call out. And we're going to win this election because we have people on the ground. We're not in little town halls, air-conditioned rooms. We're on the street. That's where all movements have always taken place. They grow step by step. We have a real Native American Indian over there. A real Indian who's been screwed by Harvard University, who Elizabeth Warren has not listened to. And all of you media out there, you better start listening, because we're going to win this election. And you guys are going to become irrelevant. That's what's happening in this country, because you guys do not care about the American people. You're corporate chills, and you do not do journalism anymore. And we're on the ground fighting. And why am I here? So when I was across from the street talking, you know, I called this guy a racist. Why? Because Elizabeth Warren, and we put the headdress on there, because she did put the headdress on, and she didn't, you know, when she checked off that thing to get into Harvard, so we're making it explicit. You see, liberals like to hide. They're very clever, so we don't want to be explicit. We want to be straight front and center. So when we called her racism out, this old geezer walks across the street, twirls his umbrella. Where's Mike? Mike was there, right? Yep. Mike's right there. And starts yelling at me. and comes closer and closer and closer, and I call him racist, 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 and he doesn't like that. And right before he punches me, he says, "You're not black." You get that? This is very interesting, because he has defined, and he said that his daughter is married to a black guy. So that gives him a free pass to punch a black Indian guy in the face. 2 chipped teeth, root canal surgery needed, bleeding lips, okay? Now he gets arrested. Luckily Mike was there to keep him away, so he didn't even hurt himself. He fell back. The cops take him away. Now, I got to tell you, several years ago, I was falsely accused and arrested and thrown in jail. I wasn't let out. Fortunately, the case was dismissed because the woman had lied several times. This guy was let out. Outright, and by the way, my case was outright dismissed. This guy was let out, and Elizabeth Warren embraced him and led him back and treated him as a VIP. My father and I, on Twitter, we've asked Elizabeth Warren, I know she watches me on Twitter, because she tries to, if I call her a racist, she comes up with an article in Boston Globe saying she's against racism. So we've asked her to apologize, and we just asked for something very simple. Apologize now. Racist Warren, 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 apologize now.
Racist Warren, apologize now.
Racist
Warren, apologize now.
Racist Warren, apologize now.
Racist Warren, apologize now.
Racist Warren, apologize now.
Racist Warren, apologize now. Racist Warren, apologize now. Racist Warren, apologize now. Racist Warren, apologize now.
Racist Warren,
Apologize now. Racist Warren, apologize now. Racist Warren, apologize now. Racist Warren,
apologize now.
Racist Warren, apologize now. Racist Warren, apologize now. Racist Warren, apologize now. Racist Warren, apologize now. Racist Warren, apologize now. Racist Warren, apologize now. Racist Warren, apologize now.
Racist Warren,
Apologize now.
Racist Warren, apologize now.
Now, before we get to close today, I have my sister. By the way, people may know my sister, Dr. Uma Dhanabalan. She's one of the top 5 doctors in the country on cannabis, and she believes there's solutions. Like Dr. Kishore, who had a solution for opioid addiction. He was thrown in the jail, but for 8 months he was thrown in the jail because he actually had a solution. You see, Elizabeth Warren and her Republican compadres like Mitt Romney do not want to solve opioid addiction. They want to put another $100 billion, I think that's what she wanted to do, so she could feed her buddies over at Harvard to do bogus research. Look, I know this racket. What's that?
They want to keep Americans asleep.
Right, they want to keep Americans asleep. Mitt Romney, by the way, bought a bunch of these methadone clinics for $750 million and then flipped them and made another $750 million. You sold them for $1.5 billion. That's what this bogus lawyer, lobbyist, fake Indian wants to do. My sister has spent her entire life studying cannabis. So, but more importantly, Uma's going to share what she thinks about a guy punching me in the face and Elizabeth Warren supporting that. Uma?
Hi, everybody. I really appreciate the love and support here. I'm Dr. Uma Dhanabalan. I'm very proud to say I'm a cannabinoid medicine specialist. I am not supported by any hospitals, universities, insurance companies, Medicare, or Medicaid. I have not written an opioid prescription in nearly a decade. I have killed nobody. And my medicine kills nobody. And we don't tolerate people hurting people, and especially when it's due to harming somebody, physical harm. Please, no more, Elizabeth Warren.
No more!
No more! We need to stop this. Dr. Shiva has 4 degrees from this state, Massachusetts, and he is here for the people and to make sure your food that you eat is not poisoned by GMOs that this woman is supporting by Monsanto. And I'm going to tell you this, anybody out there using cannabis better be careful, because your plant might be also contaminated with GMOs if this state takes over with pharmaceuticals running your life. We need cannabis to be available to everybody and to make sure it's safe, not GMO. Our food is our medicine, and cannabis is food and our medicine. We want this supported. It's legal in the state. I want to do the research. Dr. V.A. Shiva wants to support this research so that it is available to all of us in the world. He is the inventor of email. Dr. V.A. Shiva is the inventor of email. Do you hear me loud and clear? Now, we need change. You have an opportunity. Make sure you understand. V.A. Shiva, doctor, is going to be the next senator of Massachusetts. Do we hear me loud and clear? The next senator of Massachusetts will be Dr. V.A. Shiva. I want to hear that again. Dr. V.A. Shiva will be the next senator. Tell the truth. Protect your people. Start with protecting yourself first. Safety first. Do no harm is what I say. And start right here by voting for Dr. V.A. Shiva. God bless. Be well.
Thank you.
Only a real Indian can beat a fake Indian.
Right, and let's not forget, only a real Indian can defeat a fake Indian. And that slogan is not a racist slogan to all you white liberals who get so afraid because we're telling the truth. It's about what my sister just said about truth. This woman lied. Her entire house was bought probably on lies. You know, and that whole institution down the street is bought on lies. But we have a chance for change. My entire life is not about just inventing email, getting 4 degrees, starting a lot of companies. It's about fighting. My dad over there grew up, fighting to get electricity in village. He taught us how to fight. And all of us are fighters ultimately. That's what Massachusetts was based on. It wasn't based on a bunch of scumbag lawyer lobbyists. I hate to use that word, but by the way, it's a technical term. It's a scum that's on the septic tank, so you put into the bag. That's what scumbag is. That's what it is. But that's what Massachusetts was not built on. It was built on hard-working people. And we have an opportunity to do that, and we will persist until that happens. Come over here, bring that chain out here. Elizabeth Warren has this chain, so we have a gift for her. She says, nevertheless, she persisted. Well, our chain says, nevertheless, we persisted. This is not about me or any individual. This is about us. So this says, nevertheless, we persisted. And we're going to leave that for Elizabeth Warren right at her gate, I think. I think it's public property. Louis, why don't we move over and leave that right for Senator Warren? And that chain represents the fact that we as a people, we as an American people, need to break free of our chains of the Republicans and Democrats, out of the elites in the military-industrial academic complex. We got to stop giving all this respect to these academics who live here. They're not really that nice people, guys. They're really not. They think they know it all. They think, everyone else is stupid, and they're the only smart people. But they do really well because they're able to afford all this without really doing much. I mean, they haven't invented anything, created anything, worked for anything. But that's what we're trying to defeat, and we are going to win because all of these people are here on a Friday night, and we're going to win because we're going to go back to first principles, as we say in physics, which is we believe in the people, government by the people, for the people, and watch us win and be part of it. Anyone who wants to join our campaign, ShivaForSenate.com. If you want to be a participant, there's these beautiful road warrior signs called Only the Real Indian Can Defeat the Fake Indian. Get 2 of them, put it on your car, and you'll start. I guarantee you'll have some great discussion. Some people may throw the finger at you, some people will honk you, but I guarantee you'll start a political discourse, and that's what we need. So I want to thank everyone again, and again, in closing, we'll say, racist Warren, apologize now. 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 Thank you. I want to thank I want to thank the law enforcement officers. 1 year ago to this date, there was a Boston Free Speech rally. Where's John Medlar? John, you up here? I just want to, John Medlar and I, 40 of us, Michelle and a few other people here, we faced off 40,000 people because Charlie Baker and Marty Walsh told everyone that it was a Nazi rally taking place. When we asked for love, we exposed the Democrats and Republicans, and they got all these people riled up. You see, they use black people and minorities. That's what they do. And to act as though I'm a white supremacist. I mean, just look at me. Am I a white supremacist, Raji? I don't think so, right? But that's what they put out there. So next week, we're calling it Free Speech Weekend. The courageous John Medlar has John, you want to just say a few words before we close what you're planning? The whole Free Speech Weekend?
Thank you, Dr. Shiva. I want to say, the reason why I'm on board with this campaign is because 1 year ago, Shiva was the only candidate to stand up for free speech. When the entire press bought into rumors caused by extremists, that we were extremists, to demonize us and to demonize free speech. They say it's code for hate speech. All speech is free speech. Free speech is the answer to racism. Free speech is what lets marginalized people speak out against their oppressors. And now you've got the elites of this country, the ruling class, which is about time that their paradigm is ended. And the reason that it's time their paradigm has ended is they tried to flip the script and say that those who dissent against them are the ones trying to marginalize people. The ones who dissent against Hollywood and their pedophilic rape gangs are trying to marginalize minorities. No! Free speech is the answer to racism. And to all those people who peddle the elites, the lies of the elites, I have one thing to say to the press and to the fake news. You are not the questioners of authority. You are the authority to be questioned.
Thank you, John.
And that's why I'm with Dr. Shiva today, because none of the other candidates running in this race stood up for free speech and continue to stand up for free speech. Oh, I would love to have the Republican candidates standing out at our rallies. But they never do, because they're spineless. They're absolutely spineless cowards, and that's also why we did the analytics on this. Shiva's campaign is generating more traffic from Massachusetts residents on Google than all the other Republican campaigns combined.
Great, thank you, John. So John, single-handedly, he was the organizer of the Boston Free Speech Rally this week. This time we're having a Free Speech Weekend. We'll be holding a vigil to recognize the people in Charlottesville next Friday at Park Street Church, and also talk about how free speech was attacked. The next day, on Saturday, we're doing a free speech parade, right? We're going to march on the Freedom Trail, and on August 19th, I'll be delivering the same speech I gave, which the press was not allowed to listen to because Charlie Baker and Marty Walsh lied to the press and still do. And so that's what it's about. But I want to end by thanking all of you. I want to thank the law enforcement officials in this country. My parents came from India here because of two things: meritocracy and rule of law. It's not racist to want safe borders. Come on. These law officers try to protect us. They were the ones who were out on the Boston Free Speech Rally with us, protecting us from these crazy Antifa people who are actually a bunch of fascists. So I want to thank them. They made this a very, very orderly, democratic opportunity. We exercise our democratic rights. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, and everyone have a great night. Thank you. Special hand to all the police, Cambridge Police. Thank you.
Dr. So, Will Services Manager. I thought this was the last time for Cambridge that had been...
Was this Shiva rally?